Dung invites you to go deeply into the Dhammapada. Verse 23 from the Buddhist scriptures on the YouTube channel TN Thai in USA. Dear friends on the path, welcome back to this sacred space of listening and reflection. Today, we will go deeply into a verse that is like a gentle compass for the soul. A verse that tells us exactly how to walk the path of peace, the path of awakening, and the path of final liberation. This is verse 23 of the Dhammapada. Through sustained meditation and energetic effort, the wise one is released from bondage and attains the supreme peace of nirvana, one who meditates constantly, with steady and courageous diligence, is wise and enjoys nirvana, the highest peace. So short, yet within this verse lies the entire map of the spiritual journey. Let us begin slowly, gently. Let each word land in the heart. The verse begins with meditation, but not just any meditation. It speaks of constant meditation, deep meditation, committed meditation. Not the occasional sitting when life is calm, but the kind of inner practice that becomes our second breath. It speaks of effort, but not harsh striving. Rather, a diligent and courageous perseverance. Because the path is not easy, but it is clear, and it is possible. And it tells us that the wise person, not the one with titles or books, but the one who sees clearly, is freed through this path. Not through wishing, not through chanting alone, not through relying on anyone outside, but by training the mind through inner stillness and effort. Why meditation? Because meditation is the gate, the bridge, the light in the darkness. When we meditate, we stop running. We stop clinging to the past and stop fearing the future. We sit and breathe and simply allow ourselves to be. And slowly, as layers of thought dissolve, we begin to see. We see how often we live as slaves to habit. We see how anger arises, how craving builds, how fear controls. And with seeing comes liberation. The Buddha did not ask us to believe blindly. He asked us to look, to see directly into the nature of the body, of the mind, of phenomena. Through meditation, we return to our breath, to our body, to the present moment. And in that returning, something profound happens. We begin to let go. We begin to untangle ourselves from the many threads that have bound us for so long. The craving for praise, the fear of judgment, the clinging to pleasure, the resistance to discomfort. All of it starts to lose its power when we see it clearly. And from that seeing, a quiet joy arises. A joy not based on gain or loss, but the joy of being free. The joy of resting in the stillness of awareness. The joy of knowing, I do not have to follow every thought. I do not have to be ruled by every emotion. This is the joy of the wise. The verse says, one who meditates constantly with steady and courageous diligence. Let us reflect on this line deeply. Constantly meaning, we do not just meditate when we feel like it. We bring mindfulness into all parts of life. Meditation becomes not something we do, but something we live. When we eat with presence. When we walk, we feel each step. When we speak, we know the words that are forming. When we feel anger, we see it as a wave, not as a command. This is the kind of meditation that transforms the heart. And what supports this constancy? Steadiness and courage. Because yes, there will be days when the mind is restless. There will be days when old wounds rise, when the pain feels unbearable. But the wise one does not run from it. The wise one sits with it, like sitting with an old friend, not a judge, not to fix, but to understand. And slowly, through that steadiness, through that bravery, the mind opens like a lotus flower in the morning sun. Let me tell you, dear friends, Meditation is not always blissful in the beginning. Sometimes it reveals our shadows, our attachments, our fears. But do not be afraid. Everything that arises in meditation is a teacher. Even boredom teaches patience. Even pain teaches awareness of the body. Even distraction teaches humility. Everything is welcome on this path. Because we are not meditating to escape life. We are meditating to see life clearly and to awaken to its true nature. And that true nature, as the Buddha said, is impermanence, non-self, and emptiness. When we see that all things arise and pass, we no longer cling. When we see that there is no fixed self, we no longer defend and grasp. When we see the emptiness of things, we realize the deep interconnection of all life. And when the mind sees this clearly, not just as a concept, but as a living experience, it becomes free. Free from sorrow, from fear, from greed. This freedom is not a dry detachment. It is the vastness of the sky after a storm. It is the coolness of the forest after summer heat. It is the taste of stillness that satisfies more than anything the world can offer. This is what the verse calls nirvana, the highest peace. Nirvana is not a place, not something in the afterlife. It is a state of being, a heart no longer disturbed by the waves of becoming, a mind that rests in stillness even in the middle of change, a heart that loves without clinging, a life that flows with compassion and clarity. And this is possible for each of us, not by waiting for some perfect moment, not by chasing visions or powers, but by sitting, breathing, looking, understanding, again and again, one breath at a time, one moment at a time. Dear friends, if you're new to meditation, start small. Even 5 minutes a day, sitting in stillness, watching the breath, but do it with sincerity, with reverence, with consistency. And if you are more experienced, deepen your practice. Bring mindfulness into your speech, your daily tasks, your work, your rest. Let your whole life become a meditation. Let your presence be so strong that others feel peace just by being near you. This is not beyond your reach. You already have the seed of awakening in you. The Buddha said, "All beings have Buddha nature," which means you already carry within you the full potential of freedom. The question is not whether you have it. The question is, are you watering it? Are you protecting it? Are you giving it sunlight through your practice? Let us commit, not in pressure, but in peace. Let us vow, not with strain, but with quiet joy, to return, again and again, to the breath, to the body, to this moment, to the truth, to the path of the wise. And slowly, naturally, beautifully, nirvana will no longer be a distant word, but a living reality in your own heart. Dear friends, as we continue to walk deeper into this verse, let us pause and reflect again on these words. One who meditates constantly, with steady and courageous diligence, is wise and enjoys nirvana, the highest peace. You may ask, what does it mean to meditate constantly? Is it possible for someone living a household life, a working life, a family life, to meditate constantly? And the answer is, yes, it is very much possible. When we understand that true meditation is not confined to the meditation cushion, it begins there. Yes, in those still and sacred moments when we sit and close our eyes, but it must flow out into the rest of our life. To meditate constantly means to live in mindfulness, to walk mindfully, to eat mindfully, to speak mindfully, to breathe mindfully. It means our mind is not pulled here and there by distraction and craving, but is calmly anchored in the now. It means that no matter what we are doing, washing dishes, sending emails, caring for a child, we can be fully present. And that presence is the very heart of meditation. You see, meditation is not an escape from life. It is the full embrace of it. When we are mindful, life reveals itself as it truly is. The mundane becomes sacred. The ordinary becomes luminous. We discover that joy is not hidden in the future. It is hidden within attention. If we eat and we are truly present with the flavors, the textures. The miracle of food entering the body, that is meditation. If we listen to a loved one and are fully there, not planning what to say next, not judging, just listening, that is meditation. If we walk slowly, feeling the contact of our feet with the earth, feeling gratitude with each step, that is meditation. And when we practice in this way, moment to moment, day after day, something begins to shift. The heart becomes gentler. The mind becomes clearer. Reactivity softens. Love deepens. And this is the fruit of constant meditation. But dear friends, the verse also mentions steady and courageous diligence. Why does it speak of courage? Because to truly walk the path of meditation requires a great inner strength. To sit quietly and face our own mind is no small task. We will encounter restlessness, boredom, fear, even sorrow long buried. We will see things we've been avoiding for years. And that's why so many people distract themselves constantly. Because distraction is easier than depth. But if you are listening to this talk now, it means you have the seed of courage already within you. You have tasted enough of the world to know that true peace does not lie in possessions or status or stimulation. And you are ready to turn inward, to look deeply, to walk the path of wisdom. That is why you're here. And I honor that courage in you. But dear friends, steadiness is equally important. Meditation is not a dramatic sprint. It is a long, gentle walk, day by day. It is not about having mystical experiences or visions. It is about being real, being here, breathing, aware, and kind. And if you miss one day of sitting, just return the next. No guilt, no judgment, just return. This path is a path of compassion, not perfection. It's not how many times you fall. It's how gently you rise again. Each time you return to the breath, you are watering the seed of awakening. Each time you bring your wandering mind back to the present, you are lighting a small lamp within. And all those small lamps, over time, will become a radiant light that never goes out. Now let us take this further. The verse says that the wise one enjoys nirvana, the highest peace. But what is nirvana? In popular culture, people sometimes imagine nirvana as some heavenly place or a far-off state only for saints or monks. But in reality, nirvana is much closer than that. Nirvana means the extinction of craving, the cooling of the fire, the stillness of the heart. It is a state where we no longer grasp or resist, where we are no longer caught in the illusions of I, me, and mine. And the beautiful truth is that nirvana is not something we reach after death. We can begin to taste it right now. Every moment you let go of clinging, you touch nirvana. Every time you forgive, you touch nirvana. Every time you sit in stillness and smile gently at whatever arises in the mind, you touch nirvana. And the more we meditate, the more familiar this taste becomes. The more natural it feels to rest in awareness instead of grasping for distraction. And over time, we discover that nirvana is not something we get. It is what remains when we let go. Let go of the unnecessary. Let go of the noise. Let go of the ego's demands. And what's left is peace. Dear friends, let us also speak now of patience. Because to walk this path, to sit each day, to observe the breath, to return again and again to the present moment. We need immense patience. Spiritual awakening does not follow the timeline of the world. You cannot force the flower of insight to bloom, just as you cannot shout at a tree to bear fruit. You water it daily, protect it from harm, and trust nature's timing. So too, your practice must be watered with patience. Sometimes you will feel progress, sometimes not. Sometimes the mind will be bright and open, sometimes dull and resistant. But all of it is part of the unfolding. Every session, every breath, every struggle is shaping the mind, clearing the view, polishing the mirror of your heart. So do not give up. Do not compare your path to another's. Walk it with humility and love, because in the eyes of the Buddha, no sincere effort is ever wasted. Even a single breath taken in awareness is a jewel added to your spiritual treasury. So breathe, sit, return, again and again, until the stillness is no longer something you visit, but something you live from. And the more you live from stillness, the more the world around you changes too. Not because the world changes, but because your eyes see more clearly. You begin to respond instead of react. You listen more than you speak. You love without needing control. And this is the quiet revolution of meditation. A revolution not of noise, but of depth. Not of external change, but of inner flowering. You become like a tree that offers shade without asking anything in return. Like a candle that gives light even to those who do not see it. And slowly, your presence becomes a gift, not through effort, but through being. That is the gift of the one who meditates constantly, steadily, courageously. That is the fruit of the wise one. That is the joy of nirvana. Dear listeners, let us now take a gentle breath together. Inhale, slowly, softly. Exhale, gently, calmly. Let this breath be a reminder that peace is here. That awakening is not somewhere else. That you, yes you, can live the wisdom of this verse, right now, and with each breath forward. Thank you for watching this Dharma talk on the YouTube channel TN Thai USA. Namo Amida Buddha. May the merit of this practice be shared with all. May all disciples and all beings fully realize Buddhahood. Please remember to like and subscribe to revisit these short teachings of the Buddha. Thank you for listening to the Dharma.